Hyderabad is a breathtaking city. It's home to some of the nation's most incredible architecture and it's famous for its historic jewel trade. But speaking of jewels, it's also produced some of the nation's most dazzling sports personalities. And today I'm about to meet with a woman who embodies strength and sportsmanship, a player that has transformed the level of women's tennis in India, taking it to entirely new heights. Hello and welcome to Mahindra Scorpio presents TOISA, Drive to the Top. My name is Lisa Mangaldas and I'm about to meet with tennis sensation Sania Mirza, winner of the TOISA Jury's Award for Tennis. Sania, it's so fantastic to see you practicing this morning in your fantastic academy.
Thank
really
you.
so inspiring to be here. Thank you.
Thanks.
And congratulations, world #1 in women's doubles. You've come such a long way and there have been so many milestones. How does it feel?
No, yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think if someone told me at the beginning of my career when I picked up a tennis racket that I'm going to achieve everything that I have, by the grace of God, it's been, I mean, I would have taken it with both hands. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
Was there a moment in your childhood or an incident that kind of really ignited this fire that continues to blaze within you for the sport? Because I'm sure this would not have been possible without passion, you know?
I used to do a bunch of things. I used to swim, I used to, roller skate, and I used to play tennis. And it was, I think the coach called a month later and, first he didn't want to actually take me in the academy because he said I was too small at 6 to play. And then he called a month later and he said, I've never seen a 6-year-old hit a ball like that. And I really think, he called my parents and said, you should come and have a look. And I think we just went from there, really. It was never really one day, went with the flow, sort of. And I mean, the flow was obviously pretty good.
Are there any memories from your career so far that you cherish particularly?
I mean, for me, I think winning medals at the Asian Games, and I've won, 13 medals now. And for me, that is a really high in my career because I feel every time you stand up on that podium is extremely, it just really humbles you. And I think that's a dream come true for every person to represent your country at what you do. And so that was amazing for me to play at Wimbledon, to win my first Grand Slam as a junior, as a senior. I mean, like I said, I've had a long career, fortunately, and I'm able to pick out a lot of such moments.
And you're such an inspiration to so many. And how fantastic that you've even started an academy. Tell me, where did the idea to start the Sania Mirza Tennis Academy come from?
Well, this is something that is actually just something that I wanted to give back to the game. I feel that we've come a long way in the last 10, 11 years, especially in tennis, and I think the legacy of tennis should go on.
This sort of spirit of resilience and just being able to face whatever comes your way. You've also had to deal with injuries. It's been heartbreaking to see the knee and wrist injuries that you had to deal with, the surgeries. But you came back, and how? I mean, tell me a little bit about the process of recovery and healing.
It's part of our sport. We have to punish our bodies day in and day out. I've been doing it for the last 22 years and I will keep doing it until I want to stay on the top and keep playing. For me, 2010, when I couldn't even comb my hair. My wrist was so bad. I literally could not pick up a phone or pick up a water bottle. And for me, playing tennis was so far, the thought was so far from me. I just wanted to not be handicapped anymore. So for me to come back that year and win 4 medals at the end of the year at Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, because I was actually going to announce my retirement, In a 22-year-long career, there's going to be times when you doubt yourself. And that's when your close people come, and your team comes in that's their control to keep you together in those moments. And I mean, I've been fortunate to have a very good team around me.
It was such fun seeing Sania practice, and now I have the opportunity to meet Mr. Imran Mirza, who's both Sania's dad and coach, and I'm sure that he's played such an instrumental part in your careers, as we've all heard about. Your role as both coach and parent, was it difficult sometimes to play both these roles? Because on the one hand, she's your daughter, and the very biological urge to care for and nurture, and in the face of injury or in the face of a loss or all of that.
You understand your daughter better than anyone else can, so you understand the temperament, and you try to work around that. And I think that helped in some ways, because you know exactly how a girl reacts when she's your own girl. So.
Not always, but don't we all know that?
But did you have to also at some points hold yourself back and be dispassionate so that you could be the tough coach who kind of, goads her on in the face of
obstacles? The
thing
is, when I watch her playing matches, I think it's totally a coach watching, because you cannot afford to be emotional, to show your emotions, and you have to be emotionless and try to look at it purely from a technical aspect. And I think I've learned to do that.
This is the
wow,
where all the trophies have been.
There's so many, I can't even begin to count.
It humbles me when I come here, actually, and it really does inspire me every time I walk in this room.
I've just been looking at the shelves, trying to figure out what's for what, and I noticed that those are some of the most exciting ones.
Those all of them actually, all the Grand Slam finals and all the Grand Slams that I won. So this is my first Grand Slam that I won in 2009. And one of the plates there is the 2008, the first final that I played. So that starts from 2008, and hopefully I'll have to make a bigger shelf of that, and hopefully make a bigger shelf of that one.
How would you define your sense of style?
I, believe it or not, actually, I love being very, very casual, and if I had a choice, I'd be in jeans or a tracksuit or track pants all the time, and I'm a very home-born person, so to say. But I like any other woman. I like looking good, and I've always had, and since I was a young girl.
It's wonderful that you were able to excel in all these different elements of your life, or whether it's style or being patriotic about the state or whatever it is. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, I think that it's very important because I think that people have this thing as kids. I've heard it from my own, not from my immediate family, but from my aunts and uncles, saying, why are you letting her go out and play in the sun? She's going to get dark, and who's going to marry her? And things like she's going to become boyish, she's going to become a tomboy. Haven't we all heard that when we've gone out in the sun? Yes. Right? So I think that I just wanted, and not that I wanted, it comes naturally to me to be as girly girl as possible. But my best friends are all guys because I connect with guys amazingly. So I am kind of a tomboy with them, but I'm still a girly girl when it comes to dressing up and looking good and trying to look good. And obviously I try and be the best that I can be at what I do and play tennis.
Sania, your journey probably started in school, right? I see some trophies that are also when you for games you might have played in the state or nationally, as a child. Was your school quite instrumental in your journey?
No, of course. I think I think the school is something that is kind of makes or breaks you. First of all, it gives you that education and the etiquettes that you need. And I always tell kids, whenever they come up and say, how do we choose between? I said, you don't need to. You need to do basic education. I think it's very important for you to have a basic education from a normal, school, normal schooling. And my school's been amazing with that. They've given me amazing, attendance leaves. They've given me all these things, and that's why I actually want you to come with me. I think we can go to school, and I haven't been there in a few years, and I'd love to take you guys there.
Oh wow, fantastic. I'd love to see your school.
Well, this is my school where I spent a large, obviously, portion of my life, most important portion of my life. This is my lovely principal.
Good afternoon,
It's
ma'am.
Lisa. How are you?
Sania, it must be pretty nostalgic coming back to school, right?
Yeah, I know it's great. I've actually not been here in a few years, but it feels really good to come back. Yeah, it does bring back a lot of memories. I've actually gone to this school since I was 4. So basically since I started going to school, and I finished my 12th here. So actually this is, I used to have, I had a lot of classrooms obviously because I did my 12th. So I had a lot of classrooms here. Our physics lab was up there. Our chemistry lab was up there as well somewhere. I don't know if it's still here. It was a while ago since I passed out of school. So, and yeah, and you know, we spent a lot of our time here obviously as kids, sometimes bunking, which maybe I shouldn't say it, but
Come on, all kids
and
bunk.
yeah, and this was actually our assembly hall right here.
How did you manage to sustain a balance between your academics and your sport, particularly earlier on when maybe you weren't sure whether you were going to go pro?
Well, I mean, I think that I had my doubts initially, but because I was actually a bookworm, believe it or not, I loved school, I loved coming to school, and I didn't want to play tennis initially because I didn't want to spoil my 100% attendance, and I was always a 90+ student. So, you know, I was really a bookworm. But actually my headmistress at the time, who was, and I was in my 4th grade, I think, and she called me one day and I was really scared and I was like, why is she calling me? And she called me and she tried to explain to me that how good I was at my sport and how I should pursue it and how the school will back me up. And I think that's very special because I think schools don't do that. You know, they always, there's always some schools that are tough with attendance and stuff. So yeah, I think that, you know, like I said, the team, I think the school comes in my team that has helped me be where I am today as well.
Sania, so great chatting with you and getting a glimpse into your life, from your world in tennis to your more personal sort of school life and your home life. It's just been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
It's been so exciting to get a sneak peek into the world of ace tennis player Sania Mirza in the enchanting city of Hyderabad. It's now time for a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we return, we have another inspiring story of a sports person who's done India proud.